What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Ratchet and Clank HD. We're moving on to planet Umbris, which is where Quark's secret hideout is, where he has his training facility for superheroes or whatever. It's just an obstacle course, mostly.
Challenge course. Now is your chance to prove yourself strong and brave, like me. Conquer it, and you'll join in my fight against evil.
Haven't we done enough already?
What? I can't hear you.
I said, haven't we done?
Sorry, still having trouble. Tell me later.
Later? We might be dead by then.
What?
All right, Clank, let's get going.
Alright, so this facility kind of acts as like hero proving grounds almost. We get from point A to point B, and then he congratulates us or something, I don't know. Have we even seen any other superheroes that have been perfected with this method? Like, we don't really see any other characters that take on that identity. Anyway, there's no new weapons available right now, so we're pretty much just sticking with what we got. This is a very fascinating planet as far as the aesthetics go. It's very dark and creepy, and you look up in the sky, there's a huge planet right next to us. Kind of looks like Neptune almost. But we don't really get to see a whole lot of this planet outside of this facility, which is kind of a letdown. But again, a lot of the background details are always the most fascinating things about the planets in this game and in this whole franchise, really. Just a art direction and, you know, world building unlike a lot of other games. This is actually going to be quite a challenging level because we have a lot of different enemies to deal with that are kind of tricky to figure out. Nothing that really attacks us directly, but there's sort of like environmental traps. Like there's these mines right here, and then there was bomb-throwing turrets that pop up here, and those bomb-throwing turrets, they have a lot of range. They spread those bombs pretty far out, and they can deal a lot of damage. So we want to stay clear of them as best we can. The blaster is pretty good. There's a little machine gun turret that pops up right here. We can. It doesn't actually. It's impossible to destroy it except with one weapon later in the game, which I will be mentioning whenever we have it. But you can just knock it down with a blaster or the wrench, and it'll stay down for a few seconds, and you can continue to pass by it. So these mines right here, they're almost exactly like the mines that we deploy from the Mine Glove, but they are extremely dangerous because once they lock onto you, they will probably not stop until they hit you, and you have several of them coming in a chain like that. So if they all gang up on you like that, they can probably kill you. But just if you stand just outside of their range to detect you with a blaster and just shoot them one at a time, then it's pretty easy. I mean, their explosions don't really chain together and destroy each other, but you know, that's wishful thinking, I suppose. You just wait for them all to come in range like this, and then just light them up very carefully, because the blaster runs out of ammo really fast. I sure wish the mines from our Mine Glove were this big and they moved around on their own volition. Another new mechanic introduced in this level that we'll see in several other like mini-game type of areas later in the game, but it's pretty much just a platforming puzzle where you walk across these switches right here. That one was extremely easy. Because they're all right next to each other, but as soon as you touch the first one, you have to then walk across all the other ones in order to get them all lit up before the first one turns off. So this room, as you can see, they're a lot more spread apart. They're gradually kind of introducing us to this concept, and by the end of this level, we'll have done some pretty challenging ones. We'll be ready for the mini games later in the game that use these. Yeah, those turrets are pretty dangerous, but they only take a few hits, so they're not really all that strong as far as their health goes. Ratchet keeps looking at something in this level. I don't know what he's looking at. There's no enemies near him. Maybe he just sees a turret, or I'm sorry, one of those mines that's far off in the distance or something. You can always tell when Ratchet's character model will react to it. There's an enemy near you because he'll kind of look at them all, and he'll have like this sneer on his face. Alright, so here's the very cliche razor-wired, you know, obstacle course type of thing here. So we're in superhero boot camp, apparently, and the little machine gun turret is over there. The projectiles move awfully slow for bullets, but we'll forgive that since they all go in one straight line at least. we can just jump over them. Then they come up to like our ankle, so whatever. Using the taunter here helps to break all those boxes so we don't have to stop and hit them with our wrench while trying to avoid this turret. That swing shot target is really just to get back to the other side if you're over here. This room right here is locked, but if we go behind it here on this secret platform, we can activate all these switches. I was kind of turning my camera a little preemptively here because I thought I remembered that there were some mine enemies back here as well, but there wasn't. I was just being paranoid and not remembering the layout of this level. Right, now that we've unlocked it, we'll go inside to fight a gold bolt. And in addition to that, tons of crates with regular bolts too, for that matter. Yeah, this is not one of my favorite levels in the game. Probably my least favorite level, actually. Well, I don't know if I can say that. It does have some really cool aspects to it. But from a story point of view and from a gameplay point of view, I just really don't like it. Like, I mean, it's well designed, but it's really frustrating, just the unconventional like combat and platforming you have to do in this level. It's not designed like other levels. And just from a story standpoint, I just don't like the drama that unfolds from here, and you guys will know about that when we get to that point. I'm trying to find that third switch here, and I took a wrong turn. Okay, so there's a demonstration of what those mines do. I'm going to try not to let that happen again. Glad to see at least we got all our bolts back from that that jerk at Quark's trailer there back on Real Guard that scammed us out of $4 grand. Oh well, we did what we had to do. Yeah, these are really spread far apart here, so that's a good test to see, to kind of get you some practice with those type of puzzles. There's also a lot of turrets around here as well that are going to come back up, so you can't just knock them all down and go press all the buttons effortlessly, because they're going to come back up by the time you hit all the buttons anyway, so. There's little red metal, like, Quark faces in the walls around here, and those are breakables that can give you bolts as well. Like, I don't know what the deal is with those. There's one right there in the corner. Alright, now that we've cleared all those, this door is going to open for us and we can go inside. There's going to be a lot more mines up here. I wouldn't really recommend using the Porositor against them, even at this range. Huh, I wonder what triggered those guys. They responded to me a lot farther away than the other ones did. And you can actually, if you were to use the taunter on these mines, I think it still works. So if you were to draw them towards like your mines with the taunter, then you could do that as well. The Mine Glove Taunter combo still works against these things. More switches here. There's another door over here that's locked for some reason. I can't remember if there is a secret in there or not. I think there is. But either way, if there is, I'll come back and get it later. I really need to do my research. I need to be checking the map screen to make sure we're getting all the gold bolts if we go through all these levels. Some of them we can only get to later in the game when we have certain gadgets. I think I've already mentioned that. Alright, here we're going to use the Hydro Displacer. I actually missed out on some bolts up there. We're going to be using the Hydro Displacer to lower the water here so we can fight these shark enemies. And the reason we're doing that is they're normal 3-hit enemies, or 2-hit enemies rather, if you fight them normally, and if they can attack you and deal average damage. But if you have the water all filled up and you try to swim across, they will eat you alive instantly, much like if you were to jump in the water on, let's say, Planet Rilgar. It's those kind of shark enemies. But this is the only level where they're interactive like this, to where you can actually fight them. And there are some breakable shells down here as well. Some So we could technically swim through there and get out on the other side if we still had the water filled up over there after fighting those sharks. But if we didn't lower it with the hydro displacer, we wouldn't have any water to put in over here and we wouldn't be able to get to the other side. So we did it exactly as the game intends for us to do. Over here, we definitely have to drain this. And potentially, there's a neat little, not really glitch, but neat little thing you can do here where you can actually end up beaching the sharks on the rocks here. There's one over there that got beached. And you can actually, like, just kind of push him around and push him back in the water. And he will not attack you while he's up there. He'll attack you once he gets back in the water, but this guy right here, completely helpless. Oh, he actually flinched from that. That's weird. So he got back in the water, and then he turned over again for a second there, but it was short-lived. Either way, we definitely want to get rid of those guys before we try to swim across here, otherwise we could die. And I want to make extra sure that I've gotten rid of all of them before we fill it back up again. Okay, I guess I gotta get the hydro displacer back out again. Game! I said the hydro displacer. There we go. Alright. Now we're actually inside the facility where we're completely cut out from the outside at this point. Now here we need to lower the water with the hydro displacer before we can use the swing shot targets, because then we will just go crashing right into the water. So there's actually two gadgets being used together in combination. How's that? Here's another tricky scenario. We have 5 of these shark guys down here, but we need to be able to raise the water to... there's a different explosion effect there for the bomb glove if you were to throw it into water. The same thing with the mine glove. We need to be able to raise the water to get up to the platform there and activate the buttons. There's the different explosion for the mine glove there. Either way, it all works the same. And we can jump from the water up here to activate these 3 buttons. And then the door opens, but we can't jump up there normally from the water. So we have to go drain the water yet again, and then use a high jump from the helipack. I wish we could have just gone straight across this room. Alright, so there's some crates here with some weapons and ammo, or I'm sorry, some bolts and ammo. And that concludes Quark's death course. We've survived that in one piece, actually. Let's go reap our reward then, I guess.